Hey guys, welcome back to Going Public. Welcome. If you're an oldie but a goodie, welcome back. But if you are new here, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the family. I'm so happy for you guys to be here. So we're gonna go ahead and get started on today's video. As you guys can tell from the title, we're gonna do a little story time. We're gonna bring it back a couple years back. For those of you who are still trying to get to know me, who are still getting to know me, who haven't yet really got to know who the real Betty Going Public is, here's another layer to my life. I'm just so thankful and so grateful for the platform that I have to share my stories. So I am here with another story time. So today's story time is going to be really, dear to my heart because it's about someone that I love dearly. For those of you who don't know me, who do follow me on Instagram, if you don't follow me on Instagram, go ahead and do so now. But I do have a bonus baby. Yes, I have a 13-year-old boy named Eddie, who is my bonus child that I love dear to my heart. Yes, and he does live with us. So let me just bring it back a little bit. So, question number one that people may ask is, when did you find out about Eddie? So I found out about him, well, quite early. So me and Joe started dating in about 2011. Yeah, we started dating in 2011. Maybe like a month and a half after we started dating is when he finally surprised me and let me know hey, I have a son. At the time, it didn't really bother me. Honestly, it didn't bother me at all because number one, I was we were just dating, and I wasn't really thinking at that moment that okay, we're gonna be together forever. I'm just gonna be completely honest. Number two, at that time, he was back in Congo living with his mother. So then I was like, okay, even if we were to get married down the line, he lives in Congo. So I'm not really gonna have an issue with the mother or any drama or anything like that because I'm not I'm not a drama person. I don't get into drama. I don't like arguments or anything like that. So I was like, I won't even have to deal with that issue because he's miles and miles and miles away. So I found out about that 2011. The first time I had a conversation with him, I'm gonna say about the end of 2014, beginning 2015, around the time where I got engaged. That's when I started talking to him a little bit over the phone because obviously this is gonna be daddy's wife. So that's when I got introduced to him officially. We talked a little bit over the phone, over via video and stuff like that. So but I thought it was just gonna end there. Then we got married in 2015, and then going into 2016, the end of 2015 is when Joe was like, hey, we had that rough and tough conversation about him coming to America and living with us. At first I was like, oh man, this is gonna be a little bit hard because number one, I wasn't a mother yet, number one, and number two, I was dealing with my own issues. Like I said in my previous videos, I was getting pregnant, but I kept having miscarriages. So in my mind, I'm like, at first I was a little bit hurt because I'm like, dang, does this mean that, he's coming here because I can't have a kid? So those things that they pop up in your mind. You have those insecurities, you have those thoughts going through, and you're just wondering is this the reason why? But me, I'm just kind of I'm an introvert sometimes, and I like to keep myself to myself, so I didn't really express those emotions. But I was like, okay, God, if this is what you want to do, if this is the plan that you have for us, okay, boom, he can come. We agreed on it. We started the paperwork. At this time, I still haven't talked to the mother yet. We still haven't had that connection yet. And it wasn't anything malicious or anything like that. It's just because we just never had the opportunity to have the conversation. Number one, let's talk about the language barrier. I wasn't really fluent in French. I'm saying I could say right now I'm a little bit better, but back then my French was trash. My Lingala, trash. And then she obviously lives in Congo, so she doesn't speak English, so it was just that barrier there. And then you have Joe, who I personally believe that he wasn't really ready to mesh all the women together, which I totally understand. Hey, everybody understands things one way or another, and that's the way he understood it. So we let time go by or whatever. And so the first time, like I said, I talked to Eddie after we got engaged because obviously it got serious. And then we did all the paperwork with the embassies and everything like that. He was approved. got his visa. After he got his visa, we automatically went and bought the plane ticket, and then he came. He came March of 2016. Yes. Yeah. March of 2016 or 17. I'll quote it, but I believe it's 2016, March 2016, and now we are, and he was 8 years old when he came. I'm gonna try to insert a picture actually from us at the airport so you can see how little he was. He was so cute with big little cheeks or whatever. So yeah, he came in 2016 in March. So this year, so this year will be 6 years, I believe. If not, then 2017, but for sure between those 2 years. So yeah, he came in 2016. He was 8 years old when he came. I was sweating. I was nervous. Man, I don't even know my mindset at the time. Because like I said, we didn't have any kids of our own yet. So I am a newlywed, and now I am a new mother of an 8-year-old. So it's not like, okay, he's a baby, he doesn't know who I am, he doesn't really get the gist of it, he doesn't really understand, like, okay, this is not my real mom, this is my stepmom. So he already had all these things in his mind. And then also in my head, I'm like, oh man, I don't know what his mother has told him, because me and his mom haven't spoken yet. So it's like, I didn't know what to expect. So I was very, very nervous that week. I didn't know, how it was gonna be. Like, is he gonna be respectful? Is he gonna talk to me? Is he gonna call me mom? Is he gonna call me, by my first name? All those things started playing in my head, and I'm just like, oh God, like, I just hope everything goes good. And God is amazing. I promise you, him coming here is a true testimony, because he is truly our blessing. I love him dearly because he came and he is an angel, okay? He came, the first day he came, we got him at the airport, and then we came home, and that day when we picked him up, it was in the evening time, he was calling me, Mama Betty, so I guess I'm gonna say like Miss Betty, yeah, Miss Betty kind of, if I say it in English. He was like, Mama Betty this, or Mama Betty that, and I'm not gonna lie to you, even though I expected him to not call me mom, just mom, like right away, my heart did quench a little bit. I was just like, oh, okay, little by little, he'll get to know me, and he'll start loving me, and then maybe he'll start just calling me mom instead of putting my name at the end. So I just let it go that day. Guys, let me tell you how beautiful God is, right? So that night, that first night, that's what he was calling me. I promise you, the following morning, I was up early making him breakfast. I'm like trying to be like, this cool and perfect mom or whatever. I was up making him breakfast, and I remember him coming out of his room, and he's like, good morning, mom. Like, bonjour, maman. Let me tell y'all, I started crying in the middle of making breakfast, because I'm like, you don't understand how much it means to me. That little thing, just like taking off Betty and just calling me mom, it just opened up so much in my heart. And I was like, oh my gosh, because you guys know, I've been going through an emotional roller coaster of not having kids and keep miscarrying. So I'm just like, oh my God, somebody's calling me mom. So that was literally the start of our relationship. Like, that moment, I was like, you calling me mom, you my boo, boom, boom, boom. We're here. That's my baby. And so after that, everything went smoothly. Got him enrolled in school. At the time, I was working at like a daycare. So I got him into the daycare that I was working at, and everything was going good, learning the English. He started learning English fairly quickly. Kids at that age, they learn pretty quick, and he wanted to learn. He didn't want to be an outcast. Like, he was so energetic, so wanting to learn the language, so wanting to get involved in every sport, every activity, with the music, everything. So he was like, everything went quick. Literally in about 6 months, the English was flowing. It was flowing. We were reading books, learning doing everything. So I thank God for that moment. And then I started speaking to his mother. I'm gonna say about 6 to 8 months after he came is when finally Joe was like, all right, it's time. you know, let's get this thing going. And I had the first conversation with this mom, and I'm gonna tell you guys right now, we're in 2022, me and her are best friends. I promise you. Like, I'm telling you, the story is just beautiful. Like, when you just let go and let God take care of everything and say, God, if this is your will for him to be here, if this is your will for him to be, like, for us to be a big family, hey, I'm gonna be obedient to you, let it flow. And literally right now, we talk all the time. Like, when she wants to talk to him, she calls my phone, she don't call Joe's phone, she'll call me on video. When she wants to tell me things about like what's going on in her life for me to tell Eddie, like she'll come to me, she'll send me pictures of like what's going on over there, of her family that she's created, of his siblings over there. She'll send me the pictures and be like, hey, show Eddie. Same thing over here too, everything that he does here, you know, his grades, his accomplishments, when we go to his games, when he takes pictures, everything. I'm like, oh my gosh, he got a haircut, or look at the fly outfit. I'll send it to her. Like, now we are boom. Okay, we are boom. And I'm just so grateful, because I know there's other people out there who kind of like question, like, okay, if I meet a guy and he has a child or he has children, I just that ain't gonna work. I'm just here to tell you guys that there are positive stories, because Eddie is my positive story. He's my positive blessing, and I'm so grateful for him. You know, I don't have issues with him. Of course, he's a teenager. He's 13 now, so he does try our spirits, but what other teenager does not try your spirit, right? You're dealing with, number one, you're dealing with the hormones, you're dealing with his changes, his attitude sometimes here and there. You deal with questions, because now he's more vocal, so he's asking a lot more questions, so you have to be prepared mentally. That's why you have to, you know, pray for God to give you wisdom and knowledge and understanding, because not only are they asking questions, and some of the questions that these kids are asking nowadays, it may seem like it's too early to answer these questions, but you have to also understand the day and age that we are in now, where these kids are learning so much quicker, are open to so much more with social media, with their teachers being young as well, with what other students are talking about at school, because you can only reserve them and block them from so many things at home, not knowing what they're open to at school. Because at school, everything is being taught. At school, you know, these words, like sometimes, like when I go to the games and I hear some of the girls or some of the guys around me talking, I'm like, you're in middle school? Like, why? Like, why do you know? Like, why do you know this word? Like, why are y'all cussing like this? Like, what's happening? But you have to also understand that this is a new generation. And this new generation is very, very different compared to our generations that we grew up in. So you have to be open to that, open to like, okay, if he talks like this, how do you correct him? How do you tell him, boo? That's not how you speak. That's not how you pronounce things. You got to learn how to do all those things. If he asks you questions like, hey, mom, what is this or what is that? Yes, sometimes I'm like, ooh, like, why do you know that? But then I got to put on my mind, like, I'm like, Holy Spirit, come on. And then that's when I'm like, okay, well, this is what this is. Well, if you do this, there's consequences to that. If you do this, there's this. You gotta be open. You gotta be alert for the teenagers. And so I'm happy that I do have a son who is not hiding things, but is more open to ask the question. So that's a blessing, number one. And then number two, I'm happy that I haven't taken on the role like my parents used to be, where like you're scared to ask these questions. So I'm trying to be a strict mom. And I'm the strict mom, but at the same time I'm also an open mom who understands that these kids cannot just be put in a bubble or locked up because they're gonna try to, you know, sneak around or explode. You know, obviously he does have a cell phone, because I mean, I'm not gonna have my kid outside with no phone. I need to know where you at. I need to know your location. People at school now are doing crazy things at school. There's bomb threats. There's shootings. I need to know where my kid is. So he has a cell phone. Okay, so now that he has a cell phone, how do you monitor the phone? You gotta check all these things. I check my kids' phones. I don't play those games. No. We check our phones around here. We check phones. We check pictures. We check the histories on the internet. We check all these things, because this generation is not to be played with, and you have to be alert. You have to be moving in advance like they're moving in advance. So there's that, right? But thankfully, like I said, he's a good kid. So we haven't run into any issues. We're not running into any issues. I'm speaking into existence that we're not going to run into any issues. But yeah, so that's pretty much what I wanted to share with you guys today. So for people who see him, because I have people messaging me sometimes and they're like, wait, you have a 13-year-old? And I'm like, yeah, but I'm not gonna sit there and be like, that's my stepson. No, that's my bonus baby. He's mine, okay? He belongs to me. Yes, I do share him with his mama, but I tell his mama sometimes, that's my baby too. And then sometimes we laugh and we're like, girl, whatever. And I'm like, look, you had him for 8 years. Now let me have him for 8 years, and then you can have him back for a year. We're gonna find a way, but right now my 8 years are not up, so that's my baby right now. You stay where you are, and we're gonna stay here where we are, and we laugh about it, and it's just so amazing, the relationship that we have built together, and the relationship that we all have together. You know, like I said earlier, he does have his other siblings with his biological mother, and I just make sure that he knows that he has a big family. I don't want it to be broken into pieces where he's like, okay, I have my family here with my dad, I have my family there with my mom, because she's married and she has her kids, daddy's married and daddy has, you know, his kids. But we make him understand that you have a big family, you have multiple siblings, and you're gonna have more to come. She's gonna have more kids, I'm gonna have more kids by God's grace, and then the family's gonna grow. So instead of making that barrier or making that taboo, like, I'm not trying to shade the Congolese community or the African community or anything like that, but I feel like sometimes people feel like because, you know, the parents are not together but they have kids, the kids have to be split up. Absolutely not. We are one big family. We are one big happy family. So there's love everywhere. So when she's happy, when we're happy, he's happy. So that's why we're trying to keep that dynamic going. So yes, I do have a baby. I do have that baby. He's grown. I have a 13-year-old that I love, who gets on my nerves, who tries my spirit, who tries his daddy's spirit, but we love him and he loves us, and that's just how it is. So those of you wanting to know more about having bonus kids, send me a message, DM me. You know, I'm here to answer any questions you guys may have. Yes, it's not easy because, like I said at the beginning, there were those times where I used to be like, oh, like for example, like punishment. Like, okay, first time he got in trouble, I'm just like, I had that wall, like I can't punish him. I felt like I couldn't punish him because I'm not his biological mother. So I had those areas, I had those walls that I had to feel like, okay, I can't do this, I can't yell at him, I can't punish him, I can't give him a whooping, I can't do all these things because I'm not his biological mother. Absolutely not. You are his mom. You could, the same way I go off on Josiah, who's 2 or about to be 3, the same way I'll go off on Josiah, the same way I'll go off on Eddie, the same way I'll go off on my godchildren, the same way I'll go off on them. I had to figure all those things out. It took time, but then now, oh, he knows. Do not try me because he will get the words of his ear. Okay, so all those things, it takes practice. It takes practice, and then now here we are from 8 years old to 13, about to be 14 this year. We're going, we're flowing, we're moving, we're happy, and he's a great older brother to Josiah. Oh my gosh, he is my blessing. When I say this kid is my blessing, like literally, that's why I always tell his mom, like, I thank you. I always thank her. Every time I have a conversation, before we end the call, I'm like, girl, thank you. You don't know, you may not have known what you were doing when you were raising him, but girl, he is an angel. Like, he helps me all the time. And then at first I thought like, okay, maybe he's just helping me just to get cool points with me. But even at school, his teachers always message me and say, man, Eddie is such a helper. Like, he helps the teachers, like, you know, whatever things that they maybe have going on at school. Like, he helps, like, putting up the chairs or cleaning up. Like, he's always so quick to want to help. And I'm like, oh, wow, he does it here too. So when I'll call his mom, and I'll be like, girl, the teacher sent me an email thanking me about how he's such a helper, and I thought it was only at home, but he does it here too. It's all because of what you were doing. The way you started it off, he is still continuing here, and I thank you for that. Like, he is a really good kid. He's a really good older brother. Like, sometimes, like for example, on a Sunday morning, I'll wake up late and I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta get up, I gotta go get Josiah dressed. I promise y'all, I'll come in here, this is their room by the way, I'll come in here and literally Josiah will be washed. Josiah, like, first of all, he'll wake Josiah up, take his diaper off, give him a bath, lotion him up, put his clothes on, and start his breakfast. I'll come out of the room and Josiah is ready for church. Like a blessing. Like when he sees, okay, mommy's busy, mommy can't do that, he's quick on his feet. He'll like, okay, mommy, I got you. Like if, for example, if I'm out somewhere and they had dinner and daddy didn't wash dishes, but daddy cooked, I'll come home, daddy cooked, and Eddie washed the dishes, my kitchen is clean, mommy don't have to do anything. A blessing. Okay, the laundry's messed up and the laundry is dirty, he'll put his clothes in the basket, he'll put it in front of the laundry room, so he knows, okay, when mommy comes, mommy will put the clothes in the wash. When mommy puts it in the dryer, I'll take it out, I'll fold my own clothes, I'll do everything, I'll even fix Josiah's clothes. So he's such a big help. He's such a big, beautiful, and an amazing older brother as well. So I already know that when my future kids will be blessed as well, because they have such an amazing older brother. He's very protective of his little brother, very protective of him. If anybody tries to play any games, he's there, he's alert. So I love that. Love it, love it, love it. So he's just an all-around amazing kid. I know people may say, oh, don't Sean, you're tooting his horn too much. I will toot and toot and toot until I can't toot no more, because he's such a good kid, okay? So that's pretty much all I had to share with you guys today. Like I said earlier, if you guys are thinking about it, if you're, talking to someone, but you have that restriction because you just don't know if it'll go good, pray about it. If you want to ask me some more questions, some more in-depth questions, some more private questions, DM me. I'm open. I'm going public to share my story, so you guys can be open to know that you guys are not the only ones out there. I know people that'll tell me like, oh, how'd you do it? Like, how you do with the mom and stuff like that. Hey, it started off rocky, but right now, we good. I'm gonna send her this video and tell her too, like, girl, I put you on this video. But we're good. We are absolutely amazing. She's an amazing woman, amazing mom, amazing wife. I'm sure she's an amazing wife over there as well. And we're good. We're good. So like this video, comment below what you liked about it. If you want to see more, if you want him on a video with me, I would be glad to add him to this video so he can answer a couple questions, as well as how it is to be a bonus baby in the house. I probably will do that. If you want to see that video, comment that below, like it, share it so people out there can be blessed as well, and subscribe, because we are just growing and I can't wait to see how we're going to be at the end of this year. Bye guys. Mwah.